All right, so the Bernina 990 is here. So in this video, we're going to talk about some of the differences from the last top of the line that Bernina put out versus this one. The Bernina 990 is one that all of the stores are buzzing with excitement about. All of us have already gotten our hands on it. We've poked around on the screen. We've been so jazzed about this machine. So on this video, we're going to talk about the differences that they've added and improved and just made such an incredible machine with. So first, I want to talk about threading the machine. You'll notice right here, there's a beautiful thread stand, and you've got 3 different points to put your thread. So similar to the 880s that we used to have, you've got 3 spools, and this one is perfect for your bobbins. There is a little plastic piece here that separates it. I feel like that is perfect for your straight wound threads, so you can thread it through here. But since this one's cross wound, I'm just going to go straight up. And you'll notice there's 2 little nubs. On this machine, there's going to be a dotted line to show me how to thread the bobbin. So if you've ever had a 4, 5, or 7 series machine, it threads very similarly, and the bobbins are even the same. So it's even a bigger bobbin than the last 880 was. When I put the bobbin on, if I put it on wrong, I can't really do much with it. So there's only one way to put it on correctly, which is nice. And the bobbin has grooves, so when I go to wind the bobbin, I wrap it around a couple times. There's a super secret razor right there. I push the nub, and away we go. And over here, you can see that the screen changed, and I can adjust how fast or slow it's going, or put it back to default, and I can do the same thing with my knobs, or plus and minus. So on this machine, they gave us multiple different options to do every single thing. All right, and when the bobbin's ready, it's going to go ahead and push that bobbin winder. There we go. And then I can just push it out of the way. With threading the rest of the machine, it's pretty similar to what we see on the 5, 4s, and 7 series. So unlike the last top of the line, I don't have to open the door to make sure I did everything right. I don't have to hesitate at the beginning. I can just zip, zoop, zop, and get it all threaded. Okay, so to thread the machine, one thing I love about Bernina is that they actually number everything. So I'm going to go under the other nub that we talked about, 1, come over here 2, down 3, U-turn 4, U-turn 5, go down 6. Then I'm going to go behind the little needle bar that's right there. And then, are you ready? Here we go. It has a built-in needle threader. It's very similar to the 790 Pro that they put out last year, but it's even faster. So instead of having to push this, thread the machine, and then push it again, I push it once, and then she's going to go ahead. Look how fast that was. So threading the machine is a breeze. You know those OESD tiling scenes? Not scary anymore. So I love that they added that automatic needle threader. Since we're in this area too, I want to point out the needle plates. This machine actually comes with 3 different needle plates. Right now I've got the 9mm stitch plate on there. It also comes with the straight stitch, and it comes with the 5.5. You'll notice on this needle plate there's a hole right here, and it actually helps you with the integrated Bernina stitch regulator. So the Bernina Integrated Stitch Regulator, or BISR. With that, I can use any of my free motion presser feet to do free motion quilting with my stitch regulation on. So I can use the Echo foot, I can use the ruler foot, I can use my open toe foot, I could use the embroidery foot. It doesn't matter. All of them work. So that is something that I think is just fabulous, and one less thing for me to have to hunt for, even better. With that, it also does have the newer Bernina bobbin system, so I don't have to flip open the door and wait for it to do that. I just put it right in like I do on my 7, 5, and 4 series. Clip it into place, and I am ready to go. But let's talk about all the buttons and stuff on here. So one thing that I love is that in direct line of the needle, I can see all these different buttons very clearly. So I've got my needle threader, my thread cutting, start and stop, press your foot up, down, the reverse, and then the usual Berninas, the needle up and down, tying it off, beginning of the pattern, and finish at the end of this pattern. The speed control is right here, and it goes up to 1,200 stitches per minute. So puppy go fast. I love that. On the screen, I mean, just revel at the screen. It's 10.1 inches, so it's huge. It's bigger than my hand. And with it, you can see everything very clearly. And of course, we've got the standard knobs that Bernina has, but they're revamped a little bit. So they feel sturdier, and they actually give you a little bit more satisfying feeling as you're turning them, which is really nice. On the screen, if I go into the sewing mode here, you notice all of my normal menu buttons that we're used to. One thing that changed is that it actually shows me a picture of the presser foot, the number of the presser foot, the name of the presser foot, and what stitch plate I should put on with the presser foot that I have picked. I love that, and I love that all of the recommendations are very, very obvious. I can also turn the recommendations off and see all of my presser feet. If I have a specific one in mind, I can search for it too. So it makes it nice and easy to tell the machine what you're doing. It also can sense what needle plate is on the machine. So if I take this 9mm stitch plate off, whoops, is on the wrong screen, sorry guys. There we go. So right now it knows that I have got my 9mm stitch plate on. If I take this one off, which, look how easy that is, and put this one on, there you go. Right now it can tell that I've got my 5.5mm stitch plate on. Pretty cool, right? So I love that it can do that for us too. It also has a built-in camera that I can use on the sewing side. That's something new to Bernina, and I'm very eager to show you, but you can see it's a live view. You can actually see my hand moving around there. And just like on the Bernina 790 Pro, it does have the laser light. So if I stick my finger, whoop, I'm going to stick my finger under there. You should see, there it is. You can see that laser light popping up on my needle. We'll do a video later showing you how to use that and what the applications are, but I love that they added that to this machine. Another thing they added on this screen is they actually have an undo button on the sewing side of the machine. They used to only have it on the embroidery, so that is a big deal because sometimes you'll be messing with stitches and you'll find it. And then you won't remember what you last did. You can press undo and you'll find it nice and easy. The edit screen actually looks like a pencil now. I love that. And then when I open it, you can see all the icons actually have words underneath them too, so I can actually play with those, which is great. It has tons and tons and tons of decorative stitches, and I can pick any decorative stitch I want. It's telling me I can't on the 5.5mm, which is really nice. That red stitching tells me I can't do it, but I'm going to do something that I can't do anyways. I can hit jumbo stitch, and then are you ready? Here's the normal size of this stitch. I can go up to 500% the size of that stitch, and then I can sew it. So we're going to do a video just on jumbo stitches, so make sure you go and watch that one, but how nice is that? Along with that, I can also download that stitch, which, by the way, that looks like a download icon on your phone or on your computer. So I can download, say, new stitch. I can do star, even though it's more of a snowflake, but that's fine. Look, somebody's already saved one on here. I can press check. And now that's saved. So whenever I go into my menu, I know that I can find it. Alongside with that, if I go back to home, I can go to embroidery. I already put a design in there, but say I want to do that stitch, I can go to my personal, and there is that jumbo stitch that we just made together. So you can really easily do both the sewing and the embroidery stuff together, which is awesome. On here too, once again, that's going to be your edit menu with all those different icons and things. I can also scan my hoop, which is something new. We weren't able to do that on any other Berninas because they didn't have the camera, but now that I do, I can scan any hoop, the itty bitty one all the way up to the 12.1 by 16 and perfectly place whatever I'm working on. Think of the applications for that for edge-to-edge quilting, or trying to place something perfectly on a shirt, or even for making your quilt labels. On here, you can see it tells me all the different settings too. I can turn that camera on, and then she's going to yell at me for not having hoop, but I like the fact that Bernina Simon Says also gives me words now. It's such a dorky thing, but the words are such a big deal to me, because sometimes I would be like, what are you doing? So now I know it's telling me, put a hoop on it. But you can actually use that camera on all of those different aspects. And then if I like what I'm doing, I can hit my stitch out button, which instead of looking like needle ... it actually looks like a little bit of sewing with a needle. And on here, it gives me a stitch out summary. So it has things like quilt settings. So if I'm doing edge-to-edge quilting, it will stop doing the jump stitches and stop cutting as many threads. I can tell it to turn my thread cutting on or off. I can baste both around the design or around the hoop. I can do multicolor design, single color design, or if I'm doing a bunch of the same label over and over again, I can do reduced thread changes so that it does all the same ones together. It really gives me the ability to do pretty much everything I ever wanted to. It also will tell me in red if there's something I forgot to do, which is nice. All right, but that's not the only thing that they've changed on this machine. I love the fact, I forgot to mention about the embroidery unit when we were in the embroidery side. It does have the smart drive technology, and what smart drive technology does is it is quieter and it is faster. And if you look at the unit itself, it actually has a carrying handle so that you're not kind of hugging the thing awkwardly as you move it around. So it is truly incredible. Check out our embroidery video to hear what it sounds like, because you will be amazed how quiet this machine is when it sews and embroiders. There's some things that they've also changed. So like on the Help Center, on here, there's Quick Start, Instruction Manual, and Consultant. So on the 880 or the 790 or any of the other machines that they have, the Quick Start kind of looks like a manual. And it's just cliff notes on how to do random questions that are commonly asked. On this one, if I open it up, it actually really reminds me of my Bernina 890 a little bit, because I can go to a specific thing like bobbin winding, and then I can press that, and it actually shows me a video on how to do whatever it is. I can also pause it and go, wait a minute, and I can also full screen it if I want to. So that reminds me a lot of that other machine, and it makes it so that, you know, when you're sewing at 3 o'clock in the morning and your brain just can't do it, you have a video to follow along, which is really nice. I'm going to go back to our Help Center. The instruction manual is both physical and on the machine, and on the machine you can actually search terms. So like the jumbo stitch that we were playing with, you're able to search it, find things very easily. And the Creative Consultant, yes, that's not new, but it is, because on here I can go into any of these different sections. I can pick a random technique, but I don't have to guess what that technique is, because before it was just icons. And so I would look at that little diamond and go, ooh, napkins? But it's top stitching. So I can press that, and then it gives me 2 separate pages. Preparation, so it tells me how to set up my machine, exactly what settings I want to do. I can select the fabric type, which also has the words on it, which for the longest time, the only way that I knew what leather and vinyl was because of some of the video games I've played in the past. So it's nice to have those words. And then if I like everything, I can hit that check mark. There's also a tutorial section. And it looks like she is so stinking new, we haven't connected her to the internet yet. But if you do, right above this little arrow that brings you back to the top of the page, there will be a little QR button, and you can press that and you can scan it with your phone or your tablet so that you have your tutorial next to you as you sew. There are so many cool things that they've added on the Bernina 990. This is just touching the tip of the iceberg. Come check it out in stores, because we would love to show you. All of us, I know every single store, the second they got their boxes, they opened them like animals and started pulling things out and started poking, and I've already seen samples in the stores, and we've only had them out just a few days, not even a week yet. So come check it out. We would love to show you. If you have a Bernina before, or even if you've never touched a Bernina, this machine is so intuitive and so easy. I think you will fall in love just as hard as we did. Thanks so much for joining me on this overview of all of the differences on the new 990, and check out the playlist to see even more cool, incredible features that this machine can do. Hey guys, here at Rocky Mountain Sewing and Vacuum, we always like to make sewing fun start here. And so we appreciate you watching this video. If you want to see more like it, check out this playlist. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you know what is happening here. So we'll see you guys next time.